Hello, happy Friday. I'm teetering today. Sorry about that. So, hope you've had a great week. I'm Cassie with Dream Big today. And for our noontime nugget, I wanted to talk a little bit about the seed parable. It's in Luke 8, 1 through 15. But I want to talk about it from the soil side. I'm a gardener. Maybe some of you others are gardeners. And the soil is pretty important. So I wanted to chat about that a little bit today. And I want to compare the soil to our hearts and how we receive what's being said, receive what's being shared. The condition and posture of our heart definitely matters to Jesus, to God, and it determines how we see His love for us in His Word. So, in verse 5b, the New Living Translation, NLT, excuse me, as he scattered it across the field, some seed fell on the footpath where it was stepped on, and the birds ate it. So here the soil is hard. It's been walked on for many years, and it gets trampled, and the birds eat it. Okay? This is a hardened heart, just like the path, right? A hardened heart hears the word of God, and it doesn't penetrate into their lives. It doesn't change anything. They could hear it over and over and over and over, and nothing ever changes, because then the enemy snatches the word away or can twist it so it doesn't mean a lot for our lives. And a hardened heart isn't really interested in the love God has for us or what His Word says for them in their lives or for anybody else. Excuse me. The verse 6 says, "Other seed fell among rocks, and it began to grow, but the plant soon wilted and died for lack of moisture." So this seed is able to grow a plant, but it withers away because of shallow soil and no water access. This is a superficial heart. We see what's happening on the surface, but it's a mess underneath. It's not, there's not a lot of substance. There's not a deep faith. There's no foundation. There's no depth. So whenever this person is, or this heart is tested or tempted, they are prone to wander away. It's not for them. So here in verse 7, other seed fell among thorns that grew with the weeds and choked out the tender plants. So it's able to grow, but it's choked out by weeds. And this is a distracted heart. This soil is amongst what's going on in the world. There's a lot of other growth by other focuses in our life. And if our heart cannot focus on God, we tend to see all the life's distractions. This is like squirrel. The distraction of your neighbors, the distraction of your friends. A distracted heart will always be focused on the next distraction. So they'll have a hard time understanding what God is saying. They don't maybe really even, they see it as an option. God is just another option. So it's not really, it never gets to the core, okay? So the seed on the good soil, here it says, "Still other seed fell on fertile soil. This seed grew and produced a crop that was 100 times as much as he planted." Seeds are amazing. The seed is able to grow and produce so many more than the one. A wheat plant can have 5-6 different stalks, and on that can have heads of grain that into the hundreds. And so this is a fruitful heart, and this heart hears the word of God, it retains it, it's able to ask God, change your heart, it's able to be obedient, to see how the word can change their lives and how they love others. It allows God to take root and produce a firm foundation, producing more fruit. So the So regardless of where our heart is, God is a generous God. We've been reading that as Moses recaps before he dies. And there is always an option and an opportunity to come to God to help our hearts. You know, the farmer generously spread the seed, not paying attention to the soils. He just spread the seeds everywhere, knowing that not everything would grow. The farmer didn't limit his seed to certain soils. And in the same way, the gospel is full of generosity and a message of grace and forgiveness and love for his people, for the hearts that are postured toward him. So the posture and condition of our heart are so important, and it can be changed through time in his word, through asking him, through surrounding yourself around people that also love him and are seeking him and have walked with him for a long time. Our lives can be changed through this daily practice because we want a relationship with him. It's not about following rules and regulations, and that is good news. God sent his son to be relational with us. And so have reverence for him and listen to him through his word and your prayer life and in the beautiful worship songs that is readily at our fingertips. And prayer in life, in the perseverance through troubles too. God really shows himself when we're struggling. Also obey him and love him with your whole heart. And then you learn to share that with others. So I loved that. That kind of stood out to me today. So praying for the ladies this weekend. I know there's a gathering going on. So I wanted to share that thought today and tell you to go be a blessing. Know that you are never alone. You are always loved. We love you incredibly. And